interesting question is why someone in a Department of Architecture and Civil Engineering would be particularly interested in climate change. Largest single sector of emissions in the UK is from buildings. So there's a natural link between the topic of climate change and both architecture and civil engineering. Educationally, I'm actually a theoretical physicist, so I had a deep interest in climate change and the physics of climate change when I started to get introduced to the idea that the built environment was the number one sector.
I trained as an architect in India, and I went to a very traditional architecture school, very arts-based, and an opportunity came along with a fully funded scholarship to study environmental design at Cambridge. It was only 1 year. It totally transformed me. It was as if a bulb had been switched on in my head and I knew exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
We've been working on trying to make a weather forecast, believe it or not, for 2080, which of course is impossible to get accurate as far as what will happen on a particular Tuesday in 2080, but not if you're trying to produce typical weather. And we take examples of what might happen economically and run that code forward. And that allows us to create thousands of examples of years. So the problem is less the temperature rise in a mean sense, but it is probably from extreme events, whether it's wildfires in California, heat waves in Greece, or the future for the UK for its flora and fauna.
We just were coming fresh out of Colby, and the idea that we could take some of those learnings and apply them to a country that is maybe 10 or 15 times the size of the UK. Places like India, where we see huge growth and development, are going to double the total global built footprint. Every 25 kilometers of India, you will have a weather file, and if you're an architect or an engineer, you can put it into a building simulator and you'll be able to predict what the energy consumption of that building will be in 50 years' time.
Personally, alongside thinking about how do we change the decisions of governments and of citizens, one of the reasons I come to work, and maybe it's the main reason I come to work, are the young people you see wandering around campus. I hope in our department we are educating the future main architectural leaders and engineering leaders within the UK. And if that's true, some of the young people around us will have an incredible amount of influence within the industry and within society.
One of the things I'm very passionate about is trying to talk to students about the act of drawing a line on a piece of paper, and that line could represent concrete, it could represent timber, and every line that you draw on that sheet of paper will have all these backup implications of energy and carbon and health. And I think that's the thing that I'm inspired to talk to them about, just what a line does.